Good morning students, this is class 11th maths, book it's NCERT Exemplar, chapter 2nd relations and functions, and we will discuss the holiday homework. Now question number 19th, redefine the function fx is equal to modulus x minus 2 plus modulus 2 plus x in the range given x from minus 3 to 3. So we have to define this function fx in this range. So the solution is, first of all we will define these two modulus functions. So modulus of x minus 2 is equal to x minus 2, that is same when x minus 2 is equal to greater than 0, which means x is equal to greater than 2. And x minus 2 is negative of x minus 2 if this x minus 2 is less than 0 or x is less than 2, right? Now modulus of 2 plus x is equal to 2 plus x when x is equal to greater than minus 2, and 2 plus x is minus of 2 plus x when x is less than minus 2, right? Now see, we have to define this function fx in this range. Now see, in this range starting from minus 3, we will get a change in the function this at the point minus 2, right? Because up to less than minus 2 the function will be this. But when in this range you will come at the point minus 2, function will become this. And similarly here up to less than 2, up to when the value is less than 2 the function will be this, but at 2 or greater than 2 function will assume the value this. Therefore we will in this range consider these two values of x, minus 2 and 2, to redefine this function. So first of all, for x equal to greater than minus 3 and less than minus 2, right? Because at minus 2 function changes, so taking up to less than minus 2, fx is this only, right? Now see, for this range this modulus of x minus 2 will be, because this is less than minus 2 and here x is less than 2, obviously minus 2 is less than 2, therefore we will take this function minus of x minus 2, that is 2 minus x, plus this function modulus of 2 plus x, here the range is x is less than minus 2, so we will take this, so minus of 2 plus x, that is minus 2 minus x, so you will get the answer as minus 2x, right? Now the next range will be from x is equal to greater than minus 2 and less than 2, right? Now fx is this. For this range x minus 2 will be, because x is less than 2, so x minus 2 will be this only, 2 minus x, plus this will be, now modulus of 2 plus x will be 2 plus x. Why? Because x is equal to greater than minus 2, right? So you will get the value as 4. Now the third range will be for x equal to greater than 2 and equal to less than 3. Why we have taken here 3? Because the range given in the question is from minus 3 to 3. So we started from minus 3 and we will end at 3. Now for this range, when x is from 2 to 3, modulus of x minus 2 will be x minus 2, positive only because x is equal to greater than 2, and this 2 plus x, modulus of 2 plus x will be 2 plus x. So you will get the answer as 2x, right? Now we will combine these results because we have to redefine the function fx in this range minus 3 to 3. So write down that when x is minus 3 to minus 2 and equality at minus 3, value is minus 2x. When x is from minus 2 to 2 and equality at minus 2, value is 4. And when x is from 2 to 3 and equality at both the sides value is 2x. I hope this question is clear to all of you. Question number 20th. If fx is equal to x minus 1 upon x plus 1, show f of 1 by x is equal to minus of fx. So fx is already given. We have to show f of 1 by x equal to this. So f of 1 by x will be, in place of x, just put 1 by x. So 1 by x minus 1 upon 1 by x plus 1. Now taking LCM on both numerator and denominator. So you will get 1 minus x upon x, right, when you will take LCM. But here also when you will take LCM, you will get upon x. So cancel those x. And here LCM will be 1 plus x. Now because we want to show it equal to minus of fx. So fx is x minus 1. This is 1 minus x. So take out minus common. So you will get minus common in the bracket, x minus 1 upon x plus 1. Now this is minus of fx only. Clear? Next is, we have to show that f of minus 1 upon x is equal to minus 1 upon fx. So in the question, fx is given, in place of x put minus 1 upon x. So minus 1 upon x minus 1 upon minus 1 upon x plus 1. Taking LCM and cancelling x. So minus 1 minus x upon minus 1 plus x. Right? Now we want to show it equal to minus 1 upon fx. So basically we have to take minus common. Taking minus common from here, you will get x plus 1 upon, same as it is, x minus 1. Now minus 1, taking this x plus 1 in the denominator. So minus 1 upon x minus 1 upon x plus 1. This is nothing but fx. So this is equal to this. Clear? Question number 22nd. Find domain and range of fx equal to 1 upon root x minus 5. So for domain, we want the term in the denominator should be either equal to 0 or greater than 0. But here the term is in the root. Therefore x minus 5 should be greater than 0. That is, x is greater than 5. Therefore domain is 5 to infinity, right? At 5, open bracket will come. Now for range, let fx be equal to y. So y is equal to 1 upon root x minus 5. Now see, y will always assume positive values. Why? Because 1 is positive, and whenever you will solve root, it will always be positive, right? So positive upon positive is positive. So y will always assume positive values. Now we have to check either y will assume 0 or not. So squaring y on both, squaring both the sides. So y square is equal to 1 upon x minus 5. Then x minus 5 is equal to 1 upon y square. So x is equal to 1 upon y square plus 5. Now see, we know x is a real number from 5 to infinity. We have just find the domain which is from 5 to infinity. Now at y equal to 0, x will become not defined. Why? Because 1 upon 0 is infinity. So y cannot be 0. Therefore range will be all positive reals, that is r plus. Clear? Now question number 23rd. If fx is equal to y is equal to ax minus b upon cx minus a, then f of y is equal to x. F of x is equal to y is given equal to this. We have to show that fy is equal to x. Now see, fx is given equal to this. Therefore f of y will be, in place of x putting y, right? Now y is also equal to this. So in place of y again putting this value. Clear? Now taking LCM and also cancelling cx minus a, because when you will take LCM, cx minus a will get cancelled, right? You cannot cancel cx minus a right now. Right now we cannot cancel, but after taking LCM we can cancel them, right? So this will be a square x minus ab minus cxb plus ab after taking LCM, and the denominator will be cax minus cb minus cax plus a square. So here in the numerator ab get cancelled and in the denominator cax get cancelled. So the left terms will be a square x minus cxb upon a square minus cb. Taking x common from the numerator, a square minus cb upon a square minus cb, so you will get the answer as x. This is what we want to show, that fy is equal to x. Clear? Now we will discuss chapter 4th, holiday homework. So the question first is, give an example of a statement Pn which is true for all n equal to greater than 4, but P1, P2, P3 are not true. We have to give this example of such Pn which is true for n equal to greater than 4. So I have taken this example. Let Pn be 2n is less than n factorial, right? So P1 will be 2 into 1 less than 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. So 2 is less than 1, it is not true. P2 will be 2 in place of n put 2. So 2 into 2, 4 less than 2 factorial is 2. So this is also not true because 4 is not less than 2. Now P3 will be in place of n put 3. So 6 less than 3 factorial is also 6. So this is also not true because 6 is equal to 6. 6 is not less than 6. Now P4 will be 4 n equal to 4 or greater than 4. We want the statement to be true. So P4 is 4 into 2, 8 less than 4 factorial. 4 factorial is 24. This is true. Similarly, when you will check for P5, 10 less than 120 is true. Therefore, we will say that the statement is, this is the required example, that the statement is true for n equal to greater than 4, right? Now question second was, give example of Pn true for all n belongs to natural number. So we have to give any examples. So we have done so many examples. I have taken these two examples, that 1 plus 2 plus up to n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2, and this is another example. So they also asked to justify this, that is you have to prove it using PMI, which we have already done for these, right? So you can take any example and show it that it is true by PMI steps. Clear? Now question number 6 is, we have to prove that 3 raised to the power 2n minus 1 is divisible by 8 for all n belongs to natural number. So first of all, let this statement be as Pn, that 3 raised to the power 2n minus 1 is divisible by 8. We will show first of all for n equal to 1 that P1 is true. So see, 3 square minus 1 is 8, which is divisible by 8. Therefore P1 is true. Now let us assume that Pk is also true for some k belongs to natural number. So Pk will be in place of n, put k, that 3 raised to the power 2k minus 1 is divisible by 8. If it is divisible by 8, then it is equal to 8m for some m belongs to natural number. From here, find out the value of 3 raised to the power 2k, which is 8m plus 1, and let this be as 1. Now, to prove that Pk plus 1 is also true, Pk plus 1 will be 3 raised to the power 2 into, in place of k just put k plus 1, minus 1 is divisible by 8. So we have to show that this is divisible by 8. So 3 raised to the power, this will be now 2k plus 2 minus 1 is equal to, because we know the value of 3 raised to the power 2k. So we will break it like this only, that 3 raised to the power 2k into 3 square minus 1. Now using 1, 3 raised to the power 2k is 8m plus 1 into 3 square is 9 minus 1. Now this will be 72m plus 9 minus 1, which is 72 plus 8. We can take out 8 common from this, 9m plus 1. So clearly this is also divisible by 8. Therefore we can say pk plus 1 is true whenever pk is true, and hence by PMI, Pn is true for all n belongs to natural number. These were the steps to prove any statement, right? Now question number 8. For any natural number n, x raised to the power n minus y raised to the power n is divisible by x minus y, where x is not equal to y and xy are integers, right? So first of all, let this be as Pn, that this is divisible by x minus y. For n equal to 1, you can check it. In place of n, when you will put 1, this will become x minus y, which is divisible by x minus y, right? Now assuming for pk, you have to write all the statements. I am skipping them. So pk will be x raised to the power k minus y raised to the power k is divisible by x minus y. If it is divisible by x minus y, then this will be equal to some multiple of x minus y, and taking this y raised to the power k this side. Let this be as 1. Now proving for pk plus 1, pk plus 1 will be x raised to the power, in place of k just put k plus 1. So x raised to the power k plus 1 minus y raised to the power k plus 1 is divisible by x minus y. So now taking this x raised to the power k plus 1 minus y raised to the k plus 1 is equal to, now we know the value of x raised to the power k, right? So breaking it like that only. So x raised to the power k into x minus, writing this as y raised to the power k into y. In place of this x raised to the power k, using 1, write down this value, x minus y into m plus y raised to the power k into x minus this as it is. Now multiplying this, x minus y into mx plus y raised to the power k into x minus y raised to the power k into y. This term as it is, plus from these two terms taking y raised to the power k common into x minus y. Now from these two terms x minus y is common, plus into this. So this is now clearly divisible by x minus y. Therefore we can say pk plus 1 is true whenever pk is true. Hence by PMI, Pn is true for all n belongs to natural number. Clear? Now next is question number 9th. N cube minus n is divisible by 6 for n equal to 2 or greater than 2, n belongs to natural number. See, n till now we have done that n belongs to natural number, but now n belongs to natural number, but this statement is not true for n equal to 1. Therefore they have given to prove the statement for n equal to 2 or greater than 2. So the steps will remain same, but when we earlierly we check it at 1, right, for n equal to 1. Now n, the value of n starts from 2, so we will check it for n equal to 2, right? So first of all, let the statement be Pn, n cube minus n is divisible by 6. So check it for n equal to 2. 2 cube minus 2 is 6, which is divisible by 6. Therefore P2 is true. Now we will assume that it is true for pk. So pk will be k cube minus k is divisible by 6. Also mention this because we write in place of n this k, as n is from 2 or greater than 2, therefore k is also equal to or greater than 2, right? Now kq minus k is divisible by 6, therefore kq minus k is equal to 6n, where m belongs to natural number. Find the value of kq from here, which is equal to 6m plus k, and let this be as 1. Now we will show pk plus 1 is also true. So pk plus 1 will be k plus 1 whole cube minus k plus 1 is divisible by 6. Now taking this part, k plus 1 whole cube will be k cube plus 1 plus 3k square plus 3k minus k minus 1. In place of k cube, write the value 6m plus k, right, using 1, plus 3k square, this 3k minus k will be plus 2k, and 1 get cancelled, right? Now this will be 6m plus 3k square plus k plus 2k is 3k, right? Now see, we want to show it that it is divisible by 6. So we can take out 6 common from this, but we cannot take out from these two terms, right? So 6m as it is, plus taking 3k common into k plus 1. Now you have to understand this, that k into k plus 1 is always even. K into k plus 1 is always even, because whenever one number will be odd, then k plus 1 will be even. If k is even, then k plus 1 will be odd. So this is the product of odd into even, which will always result in an even number. See, if k is 3, then k plus 4 is even. Product will be even. If k is even, k plus 1 is odd, then also product will be even. So this number is always an even number. Therefore, in place of this, writing 2p, because 2p is an even number always, right? Where p can be any natural number. Now taking 6 common into m plus p, which is divisible by 6, right? So you will write the last statements only, that pk plus 1 is true whenever pk is true, right? So your homework is that you have to check your answers up to here and correct them if there is any mistake. Okay, thank you.